Hey, welcome to an episode of Chad's Beer Reviews. It's been a while since I had a dark wheat beer. Weißbier Dunkel, I believe the BJCP calls it, but it'll always be dunkelweizen to me. Anyway, let's end that drought right now. So this is one I picked up at ABC. Kloster Andechs, which means monastery Andechs. I guess the real name of the beer is Andechser Weißbier Dunkel. It's 5% ABV. And there's a code on there, I believe is 354 to be the Julian date of last year. So this is from like bottled in December last year, so this bottle's kind of old. Anyway, if Logan Cat would move out of the way, I pour it into my, I swear I didn't steal this from Applebee's glass. And it's just a lovely brown color coming out of the bottle and into the glass, obviously. Pours to a big, huge foam. It took a few minutes for that to settle down, kept topping it off. Now you can see where it says Chad's. I split the Z, like when you pour Guinness, you split the N or whatever. Okay, lots of banana on this one. I would say it's like, actually, usually the Dunkelweizes are usually more like toasty and bready with like banana in the background. And this one, it's the other way around. To me, this is banana up front. A little bit of like, almost like a cinnamon, which is probably a kind of clovey yeast phenol. Yeah, it just has like, to me it has a very fruity smell. Oddly enough, it's not very bready. I mean, that could be due to the age of the bottle, but I've never had this beer before. I thought I've had like all the major German wheat beers, but first time for everything. Let's give this one a whirl. Cheers, or Prost. Yeah, that one's pretty zesty or zippy. I'm gonna start using the word zippy in my reviews a lot because you guys said it was the dumbest word on Untapped. I would say that it's definitely much more bready tasting than it is smelling. I don't know if I go as far as say like this is straight up like banana bread, although I love the Dunkelweizens that are like that. I think 𝓑𝓻𝓮𝓻𝓲𝓷 Dunkelweizen, which I don't have, was like always like the breadiest of the dark wheat beers that I can recall. Yeah, so this one has, I call it like it's like bread or like maybe like bread crust, but it's not toasty, and despite the color on there, it doesn't really come across as like chocolatey, which is something you tend to get in a really good Dunkelweizen. I just added the yeast in there. A lot of nice I can't really see, but it's like a sludgy puddle at the bottom of the bottle. Let's see if this affects it. Did make it much more cloudy, that's for sure. One thing I've always noticed since like episode 1, well, maybe not episode 1, but since like I first started doing, bottle conditioned beers, if you pour the yeast in, doesn't matter if it's German wheat beer, Belgian, or even American IPA that's bottle conditioned, like when you pour the yeast in, it's always going to be more bitter. I'm definitely noticing that on this one. It didn't give it like a much more bready character or really enhance the yeast character. It just kind of like made it like a little bit more dry and yeasty. Up the phenol character. So, I mean, like it was fairly spicy, at the beginning there. Like I said, it's almost like applesauce, cinnamon applesauce. So it's just like this lovely combination of just these fruity yeast esters, spicy phenols, the bready malt characteristic on here. Also, this beer is very highly carbonated. You can't really see because it's so dark, but yeah. I hope you can believe me now. Even though this bottle's, I believe fairly old, at least, 6-7 months old. I'm not getting oxidation on here. Usually I'm, pretty sensitive to it, so I'm not getting cardboard or lemon lollipop or anything like that. I think just like the only indication that like it's old is that like it's just not like a super robust palate. I would call this one kind of mild, like the 𝓑𝓮𝓬𝓻𝓲𝓸 Dunkel. Like to me, 𝓑𝓑𝓮𝓬𝓬𝓻, it doesn't matter which version or which brew. Or I've always found 𝓑𝓑𝓮𝓬𝓬𝓻 beers to be like very, very, I don't want to say bland, but just mild. I put the mouthfeel on this one about medium. It does have a bit of a fluffy, soft texture, very highly carbonated, I will say. It's I don't think I would call it refreshing. It's not really refreshing. I would say it's easy to drink, which is not the same thing. This is like a nice. I mean, I prefer like a much stronger flavored beer. So I'm sure like if I had this in Germany or fresher bottle might be a night and day difference. But yeah, like the actual drinkability on this one is pretty good. The final product is only okay, and I'm gonna rate this fairly low, but I'm still giving it a thumbs up. So I'm gonna go, I think 6.5 for the Klauster Andechs or Andechs Weißbier Dunkel. I'm not really sure the name of the beer. It's okay. It's not the best example of the style. There are many better examples, and I mean, I'm just limited by what we can get here in Florida. I wish more brewers would do Dunkelweizen. I actually prefer Dunkelweizen over regular Hefeweizen. To me, they're just like much more flavorful. Although I prefer Weizenbach on top of both, and those are even harder to find. So, anyway, I'm rambling. If you watch all the way in, you're awesome. Thanks for watching. I'll see you for Cider Saturday. Cheers.
Somebody brewed it, Chad just reviewed it. Thanks for watching Chad's Beer Review.
Trust me, the next episode will be a lot better.